it open, feel the thrill. OND Light's the perfect chill. Great content, less filling. It's the vibe you've been missing. OND Light, sit back, relax, sit back, relax.
Speaking of characters that sort of, you know, are seen as evil or are bad guys, we have a topic today.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we have a topic.
Guys, I'm so sorry
Why?
that you didn't get to know who we are or hear about our weeks.
This week's all about villains, and we're the villains this week. Yeah.
Hunter didn't want to admit that he didn't get any roles. That's why he skips it now.
Oh my god. I thought we were having a great time, and you just ruined it. What is it?
I don't remember.
Do you know what it is?
Villains.
Oh, Carter knows what it is.
Villains is just a word. That's not a topic.
It is just a word. You're right. We're sort of talking about the
Aren't words topics?
So villains is the but we're going to talk more than just villains. We're going to talk about, you know, maybe what makes a villain a villain. What's really the difference between a villain and just like a bad guy, or what really
Just
is
because you're a bad guy
doesn't mean you're a bad guy.
And I say, Zangief, you are a bad guy. But this does not mean you're a bad guy.
You know, what really is good and evil, all those kind of questions. So as we are already sort of approaching this, what makes the difference? What is the difference between a bad guy and a villain? Both are a bad guy. As that's the bad guy. But what's the real difference between just a bad guy and a villain? What's your opinion?
Villains have a more grandiose motive behind their rudeness.
Sure.
And a bad guy is just rude.
Just rude.
Yeah.
No motivation, just rude.
Yeah.
Usually follows the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What you got?
Villains got swag. Bad guys are just villains that are too much of a coward to, have swag or presence.
Bad guys have swag sometimes.
You know, I think Mega Mind.
They're always
says
like,
it the
my
best.
tortured past,
Mega-
I had it bad too, and that's why I'm a villain. Shut the fuck up.
Damn.
At least own it. Wear a cape or something.
Wear a cape or something.
Cut in the part from Mega Mind where he tells him that it's about tells Titan it's about presentation.
Yeah. It's about presentation.
You're a villain, all right. Just not a super one.
Yeah? What's the difference?
Presentation!
Like there's the scumbag vampire that's like, I'm gonna kill Lisa because she's a woman, and then there's Lord Cars who's like,
Actually, she's inferior.
because she's a woman. And then he poses. He does a big flex and then he gets the little shiny marks, right? Because he knows how to present himself as a villain, whereas the scumbag vampire just gets his ass beat.
Okay. So we'll expand on that a little bit more. What really makes the villain a villain, or at least a good villain? One big thing that you've brought up is presentation. Is there more than that? Or what exactly in your mind is just presentation?
So
Same over there. So
aside from just, having a little pomp and spectacle, I think a good villain is a true rival to the hero in the story.
that'll bring up another question in a second. Keep going.
You have to have them be believable that they could win, even though storytelling mechanics, we all know that they won't win in the end, but you have to believe that they can.
90% of the time they don't win.
Right.
Or they don't win permanently.
Yeah. They can have a victory.
Yes. Sometimes
And it's
multiple.
believable.
What about you?
I feel like they have to have some vision of what they want, like some motivation, some like underlying like point. Like it doesn't need to be like in depth, like, yes, I was hurt deeply as a child. It can just be like, oh, I hate Joestars and everything they stand for.
I just hate them.
But it has to have like intent. Like a bad guy can just be like, I'm gonna kill everything, blah.
Sure.
But like a villain's like,
Their motives have layers, like ogres.
Like an onion. They
Like an
have
onion has
layers.
layers, and an ogre has layers.
Uh-huh.
A good villain has
A
layers.
good villain has layers. A good villain has layers.
Sometimes
Not
you're,
just layers, but
you're
layers.
just a bisexual
Underneath
vampire that
caves
wants to fuck.
and-
Yeah.
But, you know, that's your
Sometimes
layer.
you're just about... All right, so here's another question, and brought up from something you said. Does a villain need a hero to be a villain? Or does a good villain need a hero to be a good villain?
Yes,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
because you need the juxtaposition. Because we see fucking bad guys every fucking day, right?
Sure.
And their actions could be considered villainous, but we don't perceive them that way. We're just like, oh, that's a real piece of shit. You know, that politician X is a scumbag.
Sure.
Celebrity Y is a real piece of shit. They don't have that rival that shines the light on them to really make them pop as a villain.
So a villain...
Right? They don't have that thing to rise them up to the next level to really, you know, shine as a villain.
Okay.
They're mundane
Without
without a hero to shine against.
Carter?
I agree.
Yeah.
Those-
Totally. Okay. So then here's a question on that. Can a hero be a hero without a villain?
yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So why is it a hero can be a hero without a villain present, but a villain can't really be a villain without a hero present?
Well, because there's always bad things for someone to stand and rise up against. Right. And that
Okay.
takes self-sacrifice, which is a heroic
The
trait.
tenets of a hero
Right.
are,
What are the tenets of a hero?
you know, you got to be selfless. You got to, you know, care about the well-being of others.
So selfless.
Brave in
No.
the face of
Brave.
danger.
Okay, there you go.
You have to be kind, I think.
You think that's one of them? Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Heroes do kindness.
Usually they're like good guys or gals, you know.
Yeah, not Lisa. She's inferior. Lacks warrior spirit.
Okay. All right. So a hero can be a hero without a villain, but a villain can't be a villain without a hero.
I think that's true.
Okay.
But I think a hero can be elevated by a good villain.
Push them to their limits.
Push them to their absolute limits.
Make them better. Because you always need that thing that's going to make you better.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I agree. Yeah.
Is a villain always evil?
I think that villains they can start off with having a noble cause, but it's corrupted by their nature. So yeah, they might start from a position where they're not, like a Mr. Freeze.
And they might have good intentions.
Right. He's whole thing is like he's trying to help his wife and, you know, push this medical science forward, but he's become so consumed by it and so corrupted by it that even though he's still working towards that goal, he's doing evil to reach
get to that goal. Okay. So we don't believe that some villains can be good?
I think
Like,
that,
villains
I
are
think
always
that there
evil?
are villains that are capable of doing good,
Mm-hmm.
but they've skewed on the alignment chart to evil. That doesn't mean they can't, you know, dip their toes back into neutral to do a good deed every once in a while.
Makes sense. That's why we have the redemption arc.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I think bad guys are more inclined to the redemption arc though than
Villains. Yes, which makes bad guys almost like heroes. And going back to the whole villains need a hero to really be villains. Do you think that our world could benefit from a hero?
There's a lot of heroes.
There's heroes every fucking day.
But
brother.
Remember
Fucking heroes
9/11.
every day. Put an eagle on the screen, man. American flag.
Become a hero. Become a legend.
Well, like you were saying a second ago, there's bad guys in the world. It's like, oh, we see them as a bad guy, but we don't necessarily see them as a villain yet because there's not anyone to really shine that light on them. And like, there are heroes in the world. Let's not be
Like you're saying, would the world benefit from a superhero? No, I don't think
No.
so, because
Go ahead.
they would still have to go through like the bureaucracy and red tape to deal with the kind of real life villains that we see every day. Like that's not a thing. That's not a problem you can go in and punch.
Why not? So, okay, so do you think our world could have a true hero? Now, I'm not talking super powered hero. You know, there's people who are like heroes that weren't super powered, but they do what is right without any sort of hesitation and without any regard to their own life sometimes. But I don't know if we truly have that, let's call it beacon of hope or
Have you ever
symbol
met-
of peace
you've
in the
never
world,
ever met
right?
firefighters.
All right.
Play the ad, May.
All right. Come on, reel it in. Get to what I'm getting at. Could we realistically
I don't
have
think-
someone like that in the world?
So I think those people, you know, that put their life on the line every day,
Sure.
we get sort of desensitized to it.
Sure.
So we don't see them in that light.
Okay.
And also, like, if the media covered every time that firefighter Gonzalez got little girl's cat out of the tree,
Sure.
it wouldn't be news, so they wouldn't show it.
Okay.
But like those little deeds every day, those little acts of kindness are what make somebody a real hero.
Okay.
Not necessarily the big bombastic punch the villain, save
Okay.
the day. But we live in a world where those good stories don't sell. So the villainous heads of the corporations that are running things are like, well, if it bleeds, it leads. Get that hope shit out of here.
So what you might say is that in our world, in our society, the villain is almost always on top,
Yeah.
and heroes never really get seen. Interesting. And even in a world where superpowers aren't real.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If superpowers were real, though, that should be all over the news.
Oh yeah. It'd be all over the
They'd be like, this guy knocked a building down and then caught it and put it back up.
Put glue on it. Done. Oh God.
Is Spider-Man a menace?
Don't know.
You better buy a paper to find out.
Daily Bugle. I want pictures of Spider-Man. Carter, anything you have to say?
Did you know that Jonah Jameson sued Spider-Man after he revealed his identity for corporate fraud? Because he was taking pictures of himself and selling it to him, so he felt lied to. So he sued Spider-Man.
I mean,
Sued Peter Parker.
J. Jonah Jameson, closest representation in media to a real life villain.
Really? You see J. Jonah Jameson as a villain?
I mean, most of the time.
Some,
But,
some,
you know,
some runs.
there is the point in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies where the Green Goblin's like, who takes the pictures of Spider-Man? And J. Jonah stands up for him. He's like, I don't know. You know,
They come in the mail.
They get mailed here.
Hmm.
So
He's got a little heart in
just
there.
because
in
you're
that.
bad guy.
I think
doesn't
in
mean
one
you're
of the
bad
in
guy.
one of the runs, I don't know if it's the current run or one of the older runs. He did go through like that redemption arc where like he came to understand Spider-Man or whatever, because his son had come back.
Oh yeah.
Like his whole like motivation is like his son is actually a hero, and like this fucking guy that dresses up every day in tights, like
Yeah.
he's getting all the
Is that
attention
where
and
his son
praise.
is engaged to Mary Jane, and they find out that his son's actually a werewolf after he comes
Maybe,
back from the
yeah,
moon?
probably, yeah.
Goddamn
Sounds right.
comics.
Goddamn comics.
So good.
All right. So, what is feels like a bigger question,
Uh-oh.
you know? But what is good versus evil, and who is to say what is either?
Man, I'm gonna need you to put up the Dungeons and Dragons alignment chart on the screen.
Go ahead and put that right
Because
there, folks.
Wizards of the Coast has already told
Has answered
us-
this question.
Yeah. There is your skewing to law and chaos, order and chaos, and there is your skewing to good and evil, and then there's neutral, and you fit somewhere on that board.
Somewhere on that board. So you believe that Wizards of the Coast has answered this question many moons ago?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, not Wizards of the Coast. Gary Gygax and oh my God,
Sure.
yeah, answered this question many moons ago, and it's the alignment chart.
TSR games.
All right,
Yeah.
Carter, you got an opinion here?
Anyone who self-sacrifices and, holds themselves to a code. To
That
protect,
kinda sounds like a villain.
Villain can hold themselves to a code.
And have self-sacrifice.
That would fit into the lawful
Protect-
category on the alignment tree
but skewed towards the good part of that alignment tree, yeah.
because they're also morally
They have a moral
Morally
obligation to the
just.
public.
So we have the alignment chart.
Uh-huh.
But as we know,
Hunter doesn't
even
understand the alignment chart because he has so many evil characters he perceives as good. So like he just like doesn't understand it.
that's the whole point I'm going to bring up, is that we know that there are evil characters that are good. So does the alignment chart really help us decide who is good and evil?
What are you
Or is it
talking about?
still, we have the alignment of, this is how you align, but what perceives you, who chooses what good or evil is in reality? Because you
God.
have people who can be on the evil side of an alignment chart, but they do good things and they are good people.
If they have the intention of doing evil, like good things for evil outcomes,
Yeah, for
then they are
nefarious
evil.
purposes. They're
the
donating
intent.
to charity. Like Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame, who's like, oh, I got to keep everybody pure, and I got to do all this stuff, and I'm a man of God in the church.
Sure.
Look at me and my fancy duds. I don't see how any woman could resist this.
It's got swag.
I'm going to sing a song about how I want this woman and she's tempting me to hell.
Sure. Okay.
And then I'm going to burn her at the stake and I'm going to blame Quasimodo for it
Yeah, that happened.
because I'm a good person.
All right. Okay. All right.
It's the intent.
But I mean, from his point of view, he's good.
Sure.
Okay.
But he's not doing it
Just
for good
because-
intentions.
Sure.
You believe something in yourself doesn't mean that's what the majority of people will think.
So you believe what is good or evil is determined by the majority.
No. It's kind of hard to judge. You have to like,
That can be skewed by the media.
Could be.
yeah, I don't know.
So what are those things that we as people can truly use to define the good or evil when even the majority seems to be wrong?
You have to define somebody by their actions. And if you know their true actions and their true intent, then you can determine whether they are good or evil. And you have to try to see through the bullshit on the YouTube titles.
Don't see as they say, see as they do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Question everything.
Question every. Go home right now. Google conspiracy theories and question.
They're putting chemicals in the water
The
that
birds
make the goddamn frogs gay.
The birds are cameras. They're watching you.
They're watching.
There's a reason they go on telephone lines. They have to charge.
They have to charge. Oh, that's good. All right. We've beaten that one to death, and we've got the whole villain angle now. We've got a grasp on the villain. Yes,
Villainous.
villainous. So now, how about we go ahead and just name off some good villains that we like within some categories? Let's start with some good super-powered villains. We'll start easy.
You
What are
mean
some good-
specifically superpowers or powers that could be construed as superhuman?
Interesting. Example.
Magneto is a supervillain.
Sure. And what
Dio has powers that would be superhuman.
I would consider that super-powered. Both of those super-powered.
Okay. So,
So-
anything that would be considered superhuman. Then.
Yes.
Beyond.
We'll go
human
with that. Yes.
abilities.
Beyond
like-
human ability.
Okay.
Who are some good beyond superhuman ability? Sorry, beyond human ability that are good villains, and like why?
Dio.
You had to say it before he did.
I thought we were going to say it at the same time.
I was waiting for a different category for Dio. But
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I was going for the category of villains who fuck.
Was that one on the list?
That was
I don't
on
have
it.
the list. So.
So I didn't tell him the list either, and I forgot to tell you to come up with so while we're talking, come up with a specified villain category as we go. He came up
That
with
was
one which says
mine.
villains who fuck. So you'll come up with one, and I have a couple. So, but anyway, continue with Dio.
No, I'm taking it off. So this is not the right list for Dio. Magneto.
Another one. There's
Magneto was what I was gonna say.
Oh my god! You guys have your own opinions. So why Magneto? Give us some info on the old.
So I think Magneto is one of those characters that starts from an actual place. Like he had some pain and trauma in his past. Obviously,
went through the Holocaust.
yes, they have that good rivalry of the juxtaposition of viewpoints,
Mhm.
of how mutant kind should be led forward. Magneto has seen this horrible way that people treat people.
Yes.
when they're different.
So
Yeah.
he's coming from a spot where like I have to protect my own.
Good intentions.
And he gets to a point where he's just like seeing it fail over and over again, to the point where he's like, okay, I can't do this by the book. I have to do this my way. And my way is going to have to be through fear and tyranny. Because if, you know, my people are going to be threatened, then I have to meet that threat with power.
Okay. Carter?
Probably like Kaido.
Oh, interesting.
King of
It's a good one.
Beasts. Yeah, he's just cool because he wanted something his entire like career that he knew was impossible. So instead of like continuing to try to chase that because it was never going to happen, he decided to safeguard the next generation and be like, all right, I'm going to sit here and like whoever defeats me is the one that can do this because I can't.
That's what you believe Kaido's vision is?
Yeah, he was like, until I get defeated, no one's going to do that thing that I wanted to do. He wanted to be the strongest and he wanted to be the next king of the pirates, but like only Joy Boy could do that.
That's what makes him a good villain?
Yeah, I think he has cool motivations, and like it's not like a good motivation. It's just like, you know, I'm just going to be the strongest, and anybody else who can't defeat me is not worthy of like being king of the pirates. So I'm going to sit here in my little land of tyranny and have some fun kicking a bunch of new generation's asses.
Throwing part raves.
Yeah. And also, like, near the end, he was so fed up because there was no one stronger than him. He just, like, kept trying to kill himself. So, like, by jumping off of sky islands and
Yes. He did
getting
do that.
arrested over and over again.
Very much did that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go with Darth Vader. He's pretty superhuman.
The villain of
The
modern media.
Pretty much, right? Yeah. I mean, he's sort of the symbol of villain, basically. Like, you know, you go to someone and say, hey, who's a villain? Probably 8 out of 10 times they're going to just say Darth Vader, you know, or whatever big movie blockbuster villain has out right there at the moment. But, but most of the time, they're probably going to just say Darth Vader. And, I mean, we all really know why Darth Vader's a good villain. I mean, he's just encompassing of like evil, but not just evil, but like
He's got some pomp.
he's got pomp, he has intentions, he has motivation, he has all of those things that make a villain great. You know, great in a sense that like they're not a hero, but great, you know.
Grating like sand.
He instills fear and
Intimidation
respect.
the instant you see him.
He's got some sass, too.
He has presence, he has swag,
Stank.
When
he's
his
got it all.
his generals are like, oh, you know, maybe if we blah, 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 and he just starts choking them like across the galaxy.
Yeah, like through the VidCom.
And the guy next to him's like,
So Darth Vader, real fucking good villain. All right, let's head on to the next category here.
promotes.
Villains who don't have special abilities or powers that make them beyond greater than the normal person. A non-powered villain.
Lex Luthor.
Damn it. All right, I guess
He's a
I
good rival to-
didn't make that
It's,
specific enough, so I guess Lex Luthor's fine.
basically
I
the-
was gonna say rich villains. And
That is one of the categories.
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean,
well,
still,
I'm not
he's
gonna
gonna
have time to get
Like,
the rich.
I
No,
just
we're
think,
not, but
it's
still,
an interesting
this works.
contrast because like the two main hero and villains of that universe are like opposite flips of each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
super powered hero, non-powered villain, and super powered villains and non-powered hero.
Mm.
So I think that's pretty cool, and he's got a lot of swag. He gets those
Does have a lot of swag.
I do like in Lex Luthor's original origin, the whole reason that he's like a rival to Superman is because Superman made him lose his hair.
That's funny. Did not know that. Joey, non-powered villain.
Man, there's a bunch.
I like the ones that like fuck with the hero's head.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's like
Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
that's a great one.
Mm.
It's a good villain.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
There's a guy that demands respect and fear. Because like up to that point in the series too, like Walt and Jesse had been dealing with like cartel guys and stuff who were fucking crazy and scary and like,
but not intent. Like
right. And then you get to Gus and he's so intense and like he's just got this presence about him of
everything he
command
does
and
have
control.
intention.
Yeah. And like you just you felt like fear in the situation when they were dealing with like Tuco and those guys. When they start dealing with Gus, the series is just like tense all the time because you don't know when he's gonna like do something.
Yeah. Okay. Non-powered villain for me would be Jim Moriarty from Sherlock series.
because he's been watching.
I have been watching it, yes, so it made me bring it, but also inspiration
Because
as a
he's
villain.
anti-Sherlock.
Well, yes, he's anti-Sherlock, but he is a villain who a lot of the times when you look at a villain, what makes him good, is the whole they had good intentions, but then they're consumed by it. Like that's how they've got those motivations that like seem clear cut, But Jim Moriarty has batshit insane motivations, but it's still like holy fuck, like that's a good villain. It's crazy. Jim Moriarty, he became Sherlock's enemy, not just because Sherlock is a detective and he hunts people down. Oh man, he's gonna get me. No, Jim Moriarty did whatever the hell he wanted. No one could ever touch him whatsoever. But Sherlock was different. He's smart. He's interesting. Jim Moriarty was bored and finally wasn't bored anymore. And that's why he became Sherlock's, biggest enemy. So Jim Moriarty is just this insane villain who's untouchable, but he's just good because he has these motivations that make no sense, but still make him a formidable foe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was only 4 minutes long. Okay, next category. I think we can get one more in here. You said villains that fuck.
Yeah,
That's Dio.
Darth Maul definitely fucks.
You think Darth Maul fucks, bro?
Yeah,
I actually don't think Darth Maul fucks.
Darth Maul fucks.
Why do you think Darth Maul?
He's a
fucks?
horny boy.
Ah, all right, fine. He can have it. Even if he's wrong, he can have it. Joey, go ahead.
Liquid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Nice.
He fucks. He's got that open trench coat look.
Nice.
Open trench coat, no shirt.
Okay.
The long blonde mullet. Yeah.
Magneto fucks.
The fucking sexual
Magneto
tension
probably fucks.
between Liquid and everyone in the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, look.
Odd Job from James Bond fucks.
Yeah. I think Jaws.
Jaws.
Oh, Jaws fucks.
fucks,
Jaws
yeah.
the shark.
It,
No, Jaws from,
canonically, he's
James
got-
Bond.
He gets married.
Okay.
Yeah.
An easy one, Poison Ivy. I think Poison Ivy fucks.
Oh yeah, and Harley
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
together.
Yeah,
Even.
all at the same time. Yeah, pretty easy one. Did you come up with a specified category?
Crazy villains.
Crazy, just villains that are just sort of psycho,
Unhinged.
unhinged villains.
Joker.
Sure, that's
The
a good
one.
one. The unhinged,
The unhinged
villain.
villain that is the archetype for all unhinged villains.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The guy from Split.
The guy from Split. The guy
James
from
McAvoy's
Split.
character in Glass,
Sure. Yeah, that's a pretty
or whatever
insane,
that movie was.
insane villain.
Split villain or Glass.
The same guy from Split.
Yeah, the same guy from Split. I mean, a different guy usually, depending on the time.
Depending on what
Jeez.
mood he's in.
Right.
Idiot. God. Psycho villain.
Psycho killer.
Seems like there's a lot out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
But like, what's a good one? Not just like,
the Ying from Ying from
son
Psych.
of a bitch. Yin and Yang.
From Psych.
Yin and Yang
Did
from
they have
Psych.
multiple personality disorder?
Uh,
The same person?
So it's two people
It's two
technically.
teacher. It's like
So-
teacher and
Yeah, Yin is the teacher, Yang is the student. So
like the big reoccurring
like
person-
bad guy.
Bad guy in
Yeah.
Psych.
So Yang is the student, Yin's the teacher, and what it was is that Yin was Yang's father, and for all this time he raised her to be a fucking serial killer basically, but they're really really good at it. Okay, but Yang falls in love with the character of Psyche, the main character. She falls in love with Sean. But she's, shit crazy. But she also fell in love with him when he was a kid. So it even was weirder.
Because she knew
Was
his
she
potential.
also a kid?
Huh?
Was she also
No.
like a kid?
No, she was older. She was like he was like 12 and she was like
It's a real
almost 30.
Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter vibes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's been watching him as a kid, and Yang had been killing since then, still blah blah blah. And then when Sean started being a psychic detective, Yang decided to come back out and get closer to Sean. And then eventually, Sean was the only person she ever gave up to because she loved him. And then Yin later on, even more psychopathic father, starts coming after Sean again with a new student. The new student doesn't work out, but Yang helps to defeat Yin as well. But he literally has no purpose other than to kill. Like, that's his motivation.
But
they're
pretty psychotic, yes.
Yes. So it's like, even like during because he has Sean at like syringe point, he's gonna poison or whatever. Isn't this where you're supposed to give me your monologue and why you're evil and blah 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 blah? And he's like, no, I don't have a story. I wanted to kill, so I killed.
Damn.
That's it. There's nothing to it, nothing special, no storybook tale. I just wanted to. So yeah, pretty psychotic. It's a good one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Get us out of here,
I didn't get to
Hunter.
do mine.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Joey has one more.
Jinx.
She's not a
Oh, what? You don't think Jinx is a
Specifically
villain?
from Arcane?
villain. She's just confused.
Uh,
I think she's a little more than
I think that
confused.
argument went out the window when she fires the rocket at the end.
Doesn't
of season 1.
in League lore, doesn't she chill out a little bit?
No.
She's always
No.
evil.
Always
Vi's always chasing
crazy.
her.
She is 100% chaos all the time.
Oh yeah, big time chaos.
And actually, like, her portrayal in Arcane is toned down from her lore in the game.
Nice.
So, but it is an interesting progression from sweet, wholesome, innocent little kid to psychotic terrorist.
Yes, yeah. All right, well, we are just about to end. I just want to ask this one and see if you guys have an answer to it. A good villain that didn't use weapons. Do either of you, or can we name a good villain that didn't use weapons?
Magneto.
All right, come on. His ability is a weapon.
Oh, now we're gonna get real.
All right, come on, fucker.
Wreck-It
U.S.
Ralph.
government.
Wreck-It Ralph is not a villain.
He
Oh, he
is.
is a villain.
He's the villain of his own game, Wreck-It Ralph.
All right, fine. We'll accept it. A villain that doesn't use
The
weapons.
American healthcare system.
Oh, not an idea. A person.
Professor Chaos.
He has superpowers.
I don't know.
Professor Chaos has superpowers. Butters does not.
What's that Marvel character's name that's in Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier.
No, the brain, the computer hive mind.
Dr.
What was his name? It was Mad. What was the supervillain name? He was an actual
Ultron?
No, what?
That's why I'm confused.
The computer, like, on
Yeah,
the face, right?
yeah.
It's like Dr. Zarloff. or
Yeah,
something.
but that's not like what the character's name is. Like the supervillain name that he's portraying is
Yeah. Modus.
Modus. Yeah, I think it's Modus.
Modus is
Hmm.
the one from 76.
No,
That's the face
fuck
on a
you.
monitor.
That is the face on a monitor in 76. You are correct. It's the
All right,
Enclave.
anyways,
Well,
Enclave,
tell us in the
pretty decent
comments.
villains. Yeah, tell us your villains in the comments.
Yeah, tell us your
guys.
favorite villains in the comments. Even your answers to some of the categories we came up with. Give us your answers.
Hey there, dipshits. It's me, Joey, aka Slooty Mage.
I'm Hunter, voice of Hunter Taylor.
and I'm Carter, Eagle. We're
OlderNDumber.
Every Friday we drop wisdom, humor, and a whole lot of nonsense. You won't want to miss it.
Become a patron today for as low as $5 a month. Get early access to all our episodes and exclusive behind-the-scenes looks at all the things we're doing and May's super secret editing notes.
Shout out to all our awesome dipshits. Your support really helps keep this madness going.
Join the crew. Be a dipshit. It's an exclusive club, and you're invited.
So dipshits, mark your calendar every Friday for a dose of Older and Dumber craziness. See you there.
Fade to black.
On my stand. Fade to black.